Okay, so 2013 Holden, Colorado, 17 belt change. I've had a squealing fan belt, or I guess it's a drive belt, on here for a little bit. Finally decided to change. It's actually a really quick job, about 20 minutes. I did it last night. And so just a quick recap and an explanation on what's involved and how to do it, how I did it last night at least. So first of all, you need your bits and pieces. Grab you a spare belt. Here's the product ID. This one's from Super Cheap Auto. You can get them from Repco, wherever. Also, this one's the belt tensioner itself. That's a 132031. The 3 rubbed out. And so that's the old one. Pulled off and replaced. And the old belt itself. Now, there's one real pro tip, I guess, is these little plastic tabs here. Cut one of them off. It's going to scratch your arm as you try and reach in and, feed the serpentine belt through the pulleys. Just remove it. It's not worth the stress. Not the stress, the pain. Seems like a torture mechanism when your arm's down there trying to grab your ratchet back out when it's fallen. So that'll make life a little bit easier. Now, first step, grab yourself, so once you've got your gear, you're going to want to grab a 15mm socket on your ratchet, and you're going to use it down in here to put tension on the actual tensioner itself. So you're going to get your 15mm socket on the tensioner nut down in here and rotate it to the clockwise position. As you do that, that'll loosen the belt and you can pop the belt off, and it'll want to come back a little bit, rotate back on itself. So you want to make sure that you have it starting off in the roughly, say, 12 o'clock position, or even 1 o'clock position. The ratchet, that is, the ratchet handle coming up to about, say, 1 o'clock, and then rotate it around. It'll hit your clutch fan. By the time it does that, it'll loosen off. The belt itself will come off, and rotate it back, and you should be able to pull out your ratchet without having it locked up against some other component down there. Once that's done, the belt's off, you can go ahead and loosen the nut that's holding on the tensioner itself. So the nut, so the one we were talking about was this one here. So you've just put your ratchet on here, you've rotated it clockwise, it's detensioned the serpentine belt, you've been able to pull the serpentine belt off. It's come back a little bit, but you're not far enough to lock up against any other component. So you've been able to pull your ratchet off. Now you've pulled it's a 15mm bolt on here. You've been able to loosen that off, and you've pulled the old one off. Okay, and replaced now. So you've replaced it. The new one has a pin through here holding the tension in. Make sure you don't pull that out until it's on. The serpentine belt's completely on. Otherwise that would be a headache to try and retension that, I dare say. So yeah, important to note that you've found your a diagram showing where the belt actually feeds to and from, and the order of feed for the belt. You can find that online, quite easy to find. Next up, you've got the new one back on, you've wound your serpentine belt through. Next, what you want to do is back to your first, so the serpentine belt's back on. I found it a little bit difficult to get it on because I suppose it's you want it to be tight, so it was fairly tight even getting it on before the tensioner was engaged. So what I did was made sure it was on every pulley and over, wound through the correct path. And then this I was struggling for a while because I was trying to get the last pulley on down low here inside below the motor. Changed that up, put that one on, and had the one above it as the loose one that I was trying to get on. When I did that, I found that I was able to manhandle it on a lot easier. So yep, you've got it all on, it's all in place now, and the last step that you need to do is to remove this pin that goes through these two holes, holding the tension within the tensioner. In order to, I was struggling with that for a while until I had a bit of a stroke of genius and back to step one. Put my ratchet on here, took the tension out of it, and then was able to realign these two holes, because what was going on was the pin was being locked as these two sides of the pin barrel were not aligned. So rotated it so they were aligned. I was able to just pop that pin out just with my hands, and when I did that, boom, the tensioner engaged, and yeah, it was all nice and tight. Started it up, gave it a run, and absolutely no squeaking, so it's good to go. Make sure you tighten this bolt back on correctly. Don't over tighten. You don't want any snapped bolts inside your engine block or wherever that sits, because that would be a nightmare. But that's it, pretty simple. Should take you 20 to 30 minutes. Tools are easy. 15mm socket with a ratchet. Make sure you get your parts right, and you're good to go. Good luck.